I'm a project manager at NetLync. And to tell you a little bit more about NetLync, we are basically flipping the whole telecom industry 180 degrees. Entitlements were traditionally built on-prem by the company, but what we are doing is we are completely hosting the entitlements as a service. So all you have to do is get your developers, develop against a handful of small APIs that we have developed internally, and boom, there you go. All your subscribers will now have the selected amount of entitlements that you have checked off. That being said, our software is hosted completely on AWS. And so here today, we have Marco, who is going to tell us a little bit more about himself and how we run on AWS. Marco, I'm going to give you the microphone. Here you go. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, I'm Marco. I'm a DevOps engineer here at NetLync, and me and my team are responsible for this platform as a service that we're offering. A little about my background. I used to work in two telecom companies before. I worked as a network engineer, and after that, mostly cloud-based companies. So I have a pretty little knowledge about telecoms and how they work. And now mostly we do everything in the cloud.
So Marco, ever since NetLync has officially launched ourselves at MWC, we have been seeing a record amount of carriers onboarding or signing up. How do we make sure our services don't fall over?
AWS gives you an option to launch your service in many availability zones and many regions. So our product is designed in a way that it can run in many availability zones and multiple regions at the same time. If some availability zone or region goes down, the traffic will automatically be redirected to zones that are in working conditions. We also have built our product and service by latest cloud standards. Everything is automated from deployment to infrastructure provisioning. No manual intervention is needed, so human errors are reduced to minimum.
That's fantastic to hear. Since we are providing a cloud-based solution and PII is being a huge thing, how does AWS ensure data privacy and confidentiality for our carriers?
AWS is secure by default, and AWS gives you tools you want, but at the end, it's up to you to make sure that the data stays protected. As we've seen in many past security breaches, it's always a bad practice mixed with human error that is responsible for those breaches. So we practice high security standards. We have dedicated security experts employed. On top of that, we hire security companies that do regular checks and revisions of our company. So multiple layers of security revisions and automation is a path to a secure environment.
Thanks for that, Marco. I don't know about you, but I've been reading a lot in the newspaper and just hearing it in the background saying, hey, look, this small company, maybe this large company was targeted by a cyber attack and was breached. What security measures do we have in place to protect our AWS infrastructure?
AWS has variety defense mechanisms in place. They can instantly detect attacks and block them. AWS has thousands of companies in the cloud they take care of, and it's not only us. You can choose from basic, more advanced protection, and anywhere in between. It just depends on how much protection you want for your company and how many resources you have. We are using standard DDoS tools. We are using IDS tools, web application firewalls, and such other tools.
Perfect. Great. So in this case, enough about business talk. How about we talk about NetLync's culture? What makes you like about NetLync the most? Aside from me, of course, and she.
What I like the most, people from all over the world, different cultures, different thinking. It's nice to work in that environment. And the job that we are working on is challenging and really interesting. We are a cloud-only based company working with new innovative tech. So it's a dream for every engineer.
I agree with your answer, Marco. Right now, I currently love it as well because we are 100% remote workforce and we are currently spread across 2 continents and looking to spread across the remaining continents as well. But I think that's all the time that we have today here. Thank you, Marco, for providing your insight about the DevOps role at NetLync, and we look forward to hearing additional people coming on board. So I guess if anyone's interested, feel free to follow us on Twitter over here or here on LinkedIn. Or if you guys are very curious, just drop us an email at www.netlync.com and we will try and respond back to you as fast as possible.
Thanks, Colin, for the interview, and I'll see you on stand-up.